Hi, we're here from Watch Roll Manila. So our goal as a group is to share our point of view with different watches, why we love them, why we like them.
That's who we are.
So I guess we'll start off with Seiko. I think
Yes.
Seiko is famous with divers, no? Would you
Yes.
guys would agree with that? So we have three over here, no? So we'll start with the first,
Yeah, go for it.
the OG.
Very much proper that we start with the Seiko for the first episode because a lot of people started the Seiko collection, right?
And then there's really a market for Seiko here in the Philippines and globally. It's recognized globally. And some people would think that, as what we've talked earlier, there's a stigma with, the brand Seiko. But in terms of watchmaking, I think they've been around similar to how the Rolexes and the other Swiss manufacturers are, existed. I think in terms of heritage, it should be in line with the famous ones such as Omega, Rolex.
So it's good also for the Philippine market because we're now getting our own limited release,
Right,
exclusive
right,
for the
right.
Philippines. So
Yeah, that's an interesting takeaway also because some people think that there's so many limited editions already with the Seiko ones, but let's see. I think that's also good for the market anyway.
The first reissue of the 1965 6217-8001, which was introduced in the market 1965. It's the first 150 meters professional diver of Seiko, and it's the most iconic vintage timepiece.
When you say it's the first 150 meters dive watch of Seiko, it means it was the deepest.
At that time,
Yeah.
that Seiko can make, right? Because back then, we have the Rolex and other divers, but then again, I guess it's an icon for Seiko because for them it's the first professional diver. What stands out is how faithful this watch is to the original version. In terms of the glass, from acrylic, they now used a sapphire crystal. Bezel insert, from aluminum, they used a lacquered insert. Everything is the same, they just increased the rating from 150 to 200 and changed the movement to 8L35. So which is very good because before, in 1960s, Seiko didn't have enough, tech to put something as sophisticated as this one to the watch. So for me, this is the most faithful reissue out of the three that we have here.
When did they release the reissue again?
For this one, it was introduced in Baselworld 2017.
Yeah, how do you feel about the watch, Benjo?
for a bigger guy, when you look at it, looks a little bit small. But the magic with Seiko is, I don't know how they do it. Kasi this is what, a 40, 39.5? So in general, for me, going down, below 40, medyo, I'm gonna think about it.
Yeah, you think it's too small for your wrist.
Yeah, but when I try it on, I think also because the dial is big, it's okay with that.
It's actually deceiving.
The insert is small.
Yeah, the insert is small, the dial is wide. I also like na 3 o'clock crown kasi I think most of Seiko divers nasa 4 o'clock. And then this one comes with originally a steel or
Steel and a waffle silicone strap.
out of the box, di ba? They have options na. Yeah.
Would you go for the steel or the waffle?
Well, kasi I wear my watches when I cook.
Yeah.
No, so for me, mas better to use rubber kasi I can wash it after. Diba? Then steel, I don't have to worry about scratching it, hitting the kitchen table or a pot or a pan.
Making a dent.
Or making a dent. Yeah. But for for dressing up like this or going out, yeah, the steel is good.
Actually, this is very deceiving because for me, I usually wear more of the thinner watches, dress watches, or the smaller sport watches. Because I have a smaller size wrist, size at 7, which is more common. So as you can see, you saw naman sa wrist ni Brother Benjo how it wore. This is very deceiving for me because it's the same watch but it wears same as my smaller watch. and it fits Benjo perfectly. This is why the Seiko is a must-have in the collection. Kasi para siyang chameleon eh. Kahit kanino, mababagay mo eh.
And people know about, like there's a bunch of people who know about Seiko already, right? So it's actually a conversation starter, come to think of it.
If you wear it, it looks different also.
Okay. Well, I'm a lefty, so I'm wearing my watch on my right hand, but I'm gonna wear it here now. Yeah, I would keep this. I don't mind keeping this.
Diba?
Yeah, and yeah, it's a really nice watch. But I would go for the steel bracelet rather than the rubber strap.
But the original one, the 1965 one,
Is
originally had the
comes with the
Rubber
rubber. But I usually have my watches with steel bracelets. So I guess just to not break the flow, I would have this with the steel bracelet. Would you know how much these go for right now in the market?
Look at, given the high demand for this watch, if you look at watch charts, its fair price is around 4,000 USD, 200,000.
Okay.
Around
okay.
that one, and highest would be around 250.
Okay.
I think that's the fair value. But yeah, if you're going to buy it, what's your minimum and how much are, in case you really want to buy it?
Right.
How much are you willing to go for?
Okay.
For it.
Okay. Obviously, my minimum would be retail price, right? 165. But if my life
You cannot
depends
get.
on it, if my life depends on it,
Okay.
like if like someone's pointing a gun and then I have to pay for it, given the existing market value, I guess maybe 200. I'll try to really like find a good deal and get this.
That's
for
gonna be your
200.
ceiling, 200.
That will be my ceiling. Yeah, that will be my ceiling.
Ako mga 220.
220. Yeah.
Jamie.
Shout out to Jamie.
For me personally, because I used to have something like this way back when it was still selling for 165. Personally, given that you can't buy this anymore, you can't buy this from the local marketplace, or you can just source it abroad. So I think fair would be around 200 to 230. Anything lower than 200
Is a steal. Yeah. It's either it's a steal deal or you steal it. So this one, I'm assuming this is one of the grail watches. Can
Yeah.
you consider it as
it's
grail?
actually inspired as part of the trio that we have here. This one is reference SLA025 or SBEX007 in JDM market.
So when they say JDM, obviously Japanese domestic market, I think, am I correct na lower yung numbers na
it's
pag
like
limited?
certain number, like first 500
Okay.
is almost exclusively sold in Japan. It's the reinterpretation of the 6159-7001 vintage diver that was released in 1968 and around 1969 until it's just a one-year production. So the movement is sophisticated, it's advanced at that time. As you compare it with the first 150 meters, which is a 62 mass, this one is the first 300 meters. Plus, considering the fact that it has the 6159 high beat movement already back then. So 6159 high beat is around 36,000 beats per
So
hour.
the original price high beat.
Yes,
talaga.
high beat na talaga. 8 out of 55 movement is the high beat movement of Seiko. And for the high beat movement, they're known to have, a bit of a chunkier
component
movement, as compared with the 8 or 35s and other models. So what I like about it, personally, it's also faithful to the original. I only wish that they could have made it smaller and thinner. But in terms of how it looks, I like the gilt dial. I like how the date window has like a shine on it, so it looks really good. And because of the monocoque case, it really sits well on my wrist because it's flat.
I was about to say, I mean, this specific model does not have a case back, correct? that's what makes this piece ultra unique, because it doesn't have a case back. You open the whole thing with in front.
You cannot fit any steel strap on this watch. It only looks good on rubber or leather.
Yeah.
When I first saw this, talagang love at first sight, Kasi the size, the chunk of it, I just love it. When you put it on the wrist presence is there. Ba? I can use it to cook. When I go out, I can wear it.
It's a head turner.
Yeah, it's a head turner.
Remember that time when someone like in the elevator?
Oh yeah, I was going up the lift, and then a guy I was standing with there, he just said, "Oh, nice SLA025."
He was that specific.
Yeah, it was that specific.
Yeah.
So parang, oh wow, it feels na parang pag pag binata yung relo mo, di ba? Parang,
Yung mapapa-thank you kahit hindi
parang,
mo
"Uy,
birthday.
watch brother, parang gano'n, di ba?
Feels like you're in a real community kasi na, uy, I'm not alone.
Ikaw, Bing, would you want your own?
SLA20.
Yes.
Of course. That's
If you
the
can afford
problem
it,
with...
if you can afford to buy everything.
If we can. Because yun nga yung hirap sa hobby na to and passion na to na lahat ng dadaan sa'yo, uy.
Tsaka it evolves no? Your taste evolves.
Oo, Kahit hindi sa'yo yung piece, it's gonna put a smile on your face na, kailan mo nakuha, when did you get it? Walang inggit factor na, sa akin na lang sana yan.
The main factor with that is, I guess, the market value doesn't fall under the luxury category. People get a bit of, maybe jealous when they see na, okay, you got it for SRP, then me, I got it for, but it's you cannot compare it because it's luxury versus something that you can use every day. Right?
Again, this is the magic of Seiko. Same watch, different wrist. It still looks fit for me.
Yeah. But me personally, I like it. I've had this piece for a couple of times also, but I really find it big on my wrist. How much are you willing to pay for that watch? So now in watch charts, it's going for around 4,000 market value.
So that's around 2,000.
Yeah, 4,000 to 4,500. Because the good thing about watch charts is why I always check here, because listings that they have are, you can see it. You can see if it's sold. You can also see if it's still available. Again, the market value by definition is how much is the market willing to pay for a watch. If it's not sold, then it's not the market value. It's an artificial value, diba?
It's the window price, basically.
Yes,
diba?
yes. So here the last item sold was for 3,940. So yeah, roughly around 190, 200 to maybe 250, because I'm seeing listing for globally sa 6 lang. So yeah.
The premium, I will pay the premium for this one.
You already have.
You're already the owner.
You already have paid
Not with the premium. So
Good deal, good
yeah, I
deal.
got a very
But
good
if
deal.
it was offered with a premium,
If I was offered with a premium, I can afford it. Yeah.
yeah, I get it.
But you can afford it.
Na-afford na niya
No.
Agree.
I would get this even with the premium. Because I like the wear
So when you say with the premium, that's around how much? 250 grand?
240, 250.
240?
If it's really hard to source and umabot na sa point na napapaniginipan ko siya, I would get it if I'm able. Pero if I can hold out, I'd try to get the better deal. You bite the bullet with the price as long as
The
you know
value
it's,
is the price is
Oo.
irrelevant, becomes irrelevant.
Yeah.
as long as it's gonna be part of your rotation, your personal collection, na you're gonna be happy with it.
Maybe you'll take the hit down the road.
Oo.
So last, but definitely not the least, no. This is SLA033 or SBDX031 in the Japanese market. So in terms of its vintage counterpart, it's the most popular Seiko in the world. I mean, you can easily recognize the case from afar. Oh, They call it the Apocalypse because it was seen in one of the in the Apocalypse movie.
Apocalypse Now. Yeah.
Right?
Apocalypse
and the vintage counterpart is reference 6105-8110, and it also has another model which is 6105-8119. So yeah, but basically it's the same look. It doesn't come with a steel strap. It was originally tire thread.
For heavy use talaga siya.
Yes, and based from some articles that I read, the 6105, the original one, was the popular watch for the military, US military. So you're getting a piece of history, and at the same time you can use it daily.
For it to be issued sa military, it says a lot of the quality.
It's yeah, agree. So yeah, this one, what I like about it, again, it's very, very faithful to the original. They increased the depth rating to 200 meters from another, again, 150. And this model is probably the base model, and the one responsible for all the turtles, the SKX that we have right now.
I was about to say, because the case reminds me of the
That's
turtle.
yeah.
Is that the cushion case?
Yeah.
That's what you call it, no?
For me, I love it because it's still faithful. It has an updated bezel insert also. It's lacquered. But one thing, for me, I guess why I wouldn't buy it, if ever, is only because of they changed the lock engraving to like a printed one. And once you unscrew this, it doesn't like pop as compared with other divers.
It removes the
And it's hard to wind. Yeah.
Okay.
But still, I'm willing to pay for this because of the history and because it's, for me personally, I'm super OC with my watches.
Yeah.
So I can't buy the vintage one because of the scratches. It's given, like, and it's hard to find a very good example that was from the 60s and
still wearable.
yeah, and they didn't change anything, any part, like it was preserved as is.
So this one that you're holding now is the reissue.
Reissue now.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the reissue, and again, it's faithful to the original. How I wish that they changed the lock to a more like engraving. They engraved the lock sign and all. But yeah, overall, it's still a good watch because the movement is a Marine Master movement, so it's very reliable.
I like how it sits on the wrist. Sakto siya, swak. I like the second hand with the stoplight with the red detail. Tsaka yung cushion case niya, ang ganda yo.
Is that the original strap that the watch comes with?
The original, this one came with the waffle silicone. Same with 62 mas. Like these three models originally had that one.
Okay.
Ako, I would have mistaken this for the turtle.
I would have said the same thing.
Ayun na naman tayo kay paring Seiko eh. Diba? Sukat na sukat rin siya kahit sa akin eh. I like this watch because of the background or the history of it na Apocalypse Now. Because hindi ko man naabutan is I know it was shot here. So,
It was shot in Bel-Air, yeah.
diba?
Baler?
Bel-Air, yes.
It's a good piece of history to have.
And talagang it has a lot of airtime in the movie. I saw it recently, yeah. So yung screen presence niya when Martin Sheen was wearing it, that's why it really got popular din eh.
That piece becomes my favorite amongst the three. I mean, if I can only get hold of one piece out of the three, I would probably choose this, specifically because of that, the story behind it. Again, it was shot. The film was shot in the Philippines, so I would probably just get this.
So how much are we willing to pay for this one? How much are we willing to pay for this one?
I would say I'm willing to pay at a premium for this one.
So the ones here in watch charts is actually very good price. It's running around 140, 150.
I'll be comfortable with that and have this timepiece in my collection. But it might be my one and only Seiko already, right? I mean,
If I had to choose one piece na ititira, I think that would be a good choice. For the heritage,
Agree.
So yeah, there you have it. For this episode, it's the recreation of the most iconic Seiko divers, which are SLA025, SLA017, and SLA033.
Yeah, I'll be researching more on those pieces and try to get my
Because there's a
hands
lot
on
of Seiko models, and you know, it's you have to like it, research about it. Of course, check if you can afford it, and then
market price also,
yeah,
if it's fair.
if it's fair,
Diba?
then you buy it.
And also try it or see it
Yeah,
in the
that's
metal.
actually-